Hello everyone, this is Mr. Alex, and today I want to be talking about active into passive voice using the present simple tense. So, when do we use passive voice? Well, to start with, we need to think about the present simple, and when do we use the present simple tense? And we're using the present simple tense when we want to express an idea or an action that is repeated or usual, okay? So this action can be a habit, a hobby, a daily event, or something that happens often. However, when we want to use it in passive voice, we actually focus our attention on the person or thing that is affected by the action. Okay? So we're not focusing on the action, we're focusing on the thing that is affected by the action. So when the subject is unknown, unclear, or irrelevant is when we can also use passive voice. So I have some comparisons down here. They wash the floors every day. So here we've got the subject, verb, and the object, and we're focusing more on the fact that they are washing the floors. Okay? So they wash them. We're focusing here on the action. But in the passive voice, we actually swap it, so the floors are washed every day. So now we're focusing on the floors as our subject, when originally they were our object. Another example here is he runs the company. So he. See, he is the subject here, runs is the verb, and company is the object. So in passive voice, it swaps, and now we're focusing on the company. The company is run by him. Okay? So in these examples, the focus is on the effect of the action. It's not important who performs the action. How do we use passive voice? Well, when the active verb is in the simple present tense, we use passive verb forms, okay, with is, am, are, and the past participle form of the verb. Okay? In passive voice, the subject of the active verb becomes the object of the passive verb. So down here, I've given the example, the gardener waters the flower. So here we have our subject, which is the gardener, waters, which is the simple present tense, the flower, okay, which is the object. But when we want to use passive voice, the object of the active verb has now become the subject of the passive. So we start with the flower. And then we want to use is, am, are. So we're going to use is in this case. The flower is. And here we have the simple present tense is waters, and we want to use past participle, which is watered. So the flower is watered. And now when we're using passive voice, we always use by when we're using simple present. So the flower is watered by, and now our original subject becomes the object. So the flower is watered by the gardener. The flower is watered by the gardener. Some more examples here. So she writes a story. We've got the active here. Do you find where the subject, verb, and object are? That's right. She is the subject. Writes is your simple present tense. A story. Story being the object. Subject, verb, object. So remember, the object of the active becomes the subject of the passive. A story. And then we want, in the active verb, we want to change it to the past participle using is, am, are. Because it's singular, a story is written. When we use by, her. Okay? A story is written by her. Here's another example. She adores kids. So the active here, subject she, verb adores, object kids. We switch it to passive, kids, the object in here becomes the subject. are adored, because remember, is, am, are, past participle of adores is adored. We use by, and she becomes her. Okay? When we're using the negative form of present simple passive, okay, it's quite easy. Just insert not between am, is, or are and the past participle. So, Spanish is spoken in China. Is it? No, we want the negative form. Spanish is not spoken in China. Okay, because we're focusing here on Spanish, not China. How do we form a question in present simple passive? Well, we swapped the subject and is, am, are, and the structure is asking questions in present simple passive is, am, are, the subject, and the past participle. So are, subject, US dollars, or dollars, past participle, accepted at Dubai airport. Okay? So we're focusing here on the subject of US dollars, and then the object is Dubai airport. Is coffee served here? So is, am, are, then your subject, which in the active form would be the subject, sorry, the object, served here. And to make a WH question, simply insert the word before is, am, are. What is this pie made of? When are these items usually brought here? Okay, and this is all in passive form. And that's the end of the introduction to passive voice. And next we will be doing some exercises. Thank you.